folks, and welcome back to the channel. So we're diving into the latest funding proposal. This is a community spend proposal, so this is something that is law, unlike other things. But anyway, let's move forward. So my issue currently with this is the funding. I don't have any issues with the proposal. I don't really have any issues with what's been going on. It's the process, and we need to trust in that process. We funded it the first round. I get it. I trust the process. I trust that there is a repeg in sight if people get on with the work and, you know, put maximum effort in, especially if you're being paid 20 grand a month. It's money that should be well utilized at all times. And I myself, I'm noticing, you know, people are spending a lot of time in Twitter spaces and stuff like that. But nonetheless, you need to do marketing, you need to do PR, and you do need to speak to the community. If that means you need one person to be doing it almost 24 hours a day, every day, then that's what it takes. If that's where the money's going, that's where the money's going. We have to trust in the process, right? So like I was saying, my biggest issue with this is simply the funding. So I've gone through this all in a previous video, but I'm going to outline it pretty well as best as I can. And it's just simply, there's not enough to fund all three teams. It was 2.7 billion. It's now 2.8 billion. So there's actually not enough now to fund all three of them, even if you do change the USTC out. If the price continues to decline, it's going to get worse, and it's going to be 3 billion we need, then 4 billion we need, 5 billion, so on and so forth. And what happens is, even if we do manage to fund all three teams again for the next quarter, we're left with almost nothing. And I hate to be the person in the room that has to be the knowledgeable validator that simply goes, hey, the maths is not adding up. You need 2.8 billion. There's 1.7 billion by the time we reach the next quarter. You can minus out what the quant team are asking, and it kind of gets even worse. So the questions really are, who is going to get funded before who, and before the community and validators actually notice this issue? Because I can almost guarantee all of the big nodes haven't even looked into it. The L1 team will state they're essential, Hexagon will also state they're essential, and the quant team will state they are essential. So who really is essential? Well, because of my previous videos I've done regarding USTC, I've been more or less targeted and said, if I don't know what I'm going on about, don't do any videos. And it caused a lot of backstir. And when that happens, the best thing for me to do is just not cover the topic, which is what I've been doing since that's happened. But ultimately, as a validator, this does affect all of us, the whole community, because we just can't afford to fund these three teams, right? And none of those three teams are saying to the community, hey, you've got a funding issue. The reason being is, what would happen straight away? Well, it would be on news outlets, probably everywhere, saying there's a funding issue. They don't want to cause panic, right? What I believe is happening is it's first come, first serve at this quarter. Whoever can get funding first is going to get funded, because we're just not going to be able to afford it. So even if, right, they did sell the USTC out, which is not what the quant team have been selling to the community, I don't even think there's enough market orders to fill this. So all of this is taking a look realistically from a technical point of view. So, you know, they're calling me out in these spaces they're consistently doing, saying, you know, hey, is he going to vote? Hey, is he going to vote? But I'm saying to these people, hey, we've got an issue with funding. You're asking me to vote to support you, and I support the repeg, I support the process. But what I don't support is the fact that no one is addressing this funding issue. No one's bothered about it, and no one is bringing it to the light of the community. So for me, currently right now, I'm confused as to what to do, because ultimately, if I say yes to funding the quant team now, the L1 or Hexagon are they're not getting funded next quarter. It's as simple as that, unless LUNC does a 2x. They drop their prices down for everything. Something they're currently doing with their node is they're saying to the community, if you stake with us, okay, we'll use it to fund the infrastructure. Even if they had all nodes level of voting power, it still would not be enough to cover what they want. So you need to think about what they're asking. They're asking for more than 20% voting power to break even. That's not fair. It's not fair to utilize that as a weapon to get loads of voting power. It's a bad image. And for starters, it's not good. We're trying to avoid this. They're never going to get anywhere close to that kind of voting power if we do the correct things as a community by introducing this dynamic commission module, because it wouldn't allow these huge mass centralizations of voting power. So like I said, I've got all of these different issues, right? And a lot of the time people are saying, he's being emotional, and they're just simply gaslighting me. So what I'm doing is, this is all technical, right? This is all available information. You can see the pools, you can see everything on Moonrunners. You can still see it on Lunc Dash if you want to use that. You can see the pools, okay? By the time we reach the next quarter, this will be at 1.7 billion. You can change that in your heads to 1 billion LUNC at the next quarter. So that's 2.7 billion. We currently need 2.8 billion, and that's increasing. It's probably going to be 3 billion in a couple of days. And we've still got around a month till we reach the next quarter round of funding for the two teams. During that time, we're going to need to fund the quant team once, and then obviously again at that quarter when Terra Rebels, Hexagon, and the L1 team put their spend proposals forward. So the biggest issue is, right, we just simply can't afford any of this unless someone's willing to take USTC as payment, dump the price, and take the bad rep for it. And I know the quant team have been highly against any selling of USTC, and this is another technical point of view with the repeg. Our Oracle rewards pool didn't always pay out USTC, and it needs to be stopped. The whole Oracle rewards pool needs changing, because ultimately this blockchain needs to survive. If you want a repeg and you're so determined to get this repeg as a community, right, then we need to do everything we can to help it by patching the holes in the bucket, right? That would probably be your first point of call, because that is where the majority of the price dumping's coming from. People just get given USTC like candy and they go and swap in, sell it out straight away. The quant team, like I said, have been highly against this, and just removing, like I said, the rewards from the Oracle rewards pool would be the best route to go. So I just don't see the ability to swap this out into LUNC, because I don't even think you could fill those kind of market orders right now. Who knows? Could be wrong. But the one thing I know I'm not wrong about is there's not enough funding, and the other bits that I've gone over here. It's so important that you take this in as a community. If you're staking with different validators, ask them if they know about this, because a lot of the time those top validators are just so disconnected from this community. They don't even know about websites like Moonrunners, like Lunc Dash. They don't know about all of the different projects that are working on chain, and it's just they don't know, and they're not looking clearly enough at all of these different things. And we don't have the dashboard system that we used to have that made it easy for all of the validators to have one place they can trust and rely on for not so much guaranteed data, but secure data they can trust to a certain extent, having to do your own research or whatever in between. But, this is a real issue, and I can't vote at the moment anyway, because Station's going through a phishing scam, and I'm not connecting my ledger system to that until they've given the green light either way. So what I would say to the community is, right now, go and vote yourselves. Okay? Go and vote yourselves. You can vote with your own coins, but wait until Station's back online. Okay? Don't utilize Station until we're given an absolute green light from TFL, because as per the video this morning, that phishing scam is still a risk. Okay? We just don't know. Okay? They're not our systems. They don't belong to us. We don't own them. We have to wait for Daddy to give us the okay. Daddy holds all the infrastructure. Daddy holds all the keys. Now, like I was saying, the funding is an issue. I don't think any of the teams have addressed this. I've reached out to the quant team through DMs and asked them what's their opinion on this. I haven't got a message back. Hopefully I get one soon. I think the best thing to happen is for these three teams to probably have a meeting together behind the scenes and bicker this all out as to who's getting what, how this is all going to work, because otherwise it's just going to be a free-for-all. it's going to look bad to the community. It's going to look even worse to the external communities, and it's probably going to dump the price loads because we will just look like we're far from organized. Oh, look, they've spent more money than they've got. You know, it just doesn't look good. So like I said, I hate to be the mature person in the room. I hate to be the grown up of all of the validators who say, hey, I support this. I support all three teams at this point, right? But we can't afford it. If we could afford it, okay, cool. The community wants to pay them, vote it through. That's fine. But we are in a position where we can't afford it, and we shouldn't be in a position where we've spent everything every quarter. There should be at least 2 billion in this community pool at all times. There should be reserves. There should be support funds to go on excursions and pay for these awesome development teams. But we're not. We're just getting these cruddy sprint meetings. We're seeing a lot of people in Twitter spaces. I think the time for change is now, and change comes from the community who empower the people that are, you know, in these different sectors and in these different paid teams. The L1 team definitely feel like they can do what they want to do. And I totally get that, because to them and to all three teams, they've each actually stated that governance simply is not law and it doesn't matter. So that also raises concerns. But take away all these technical points. Like I said, go speak to others, go have conversations, raise the flag about this. It's actual stuff and it actually affects all of us. We want to see the price of LUNC go up, not down. Let's all meet in the middle. Everybody's here. Everybody's attached to LUNC, the big rubber band ball, and everybody's got a rubber band, and all that will happen is everybody will split in different directions and we'll all get pulled back into the central mass of drama, FUD, and BS that will get created from it all. Folks, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. This is HCC, and I'll catch you in the next one.